Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your dab of the day. Today is Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Well, the topic of the day is going to be a continuation in the series that we're doing about chronic pain, different aspects of it. And today, what I want to tackle, we talked about triggers yesterday and some other things. Today, I want to track symptoms. I want to track basically when pain is the symptom, okay? And pain is the manifestation. Pain is what you feel. What is really going to happen around that? In other words, pain doesn't live alone. And hi there, doctor, I have pain. Everything else comes with pain. For example, fatigue. Pain is like running track. I call it the hamster wheel. You're never off. It's 7:24 as soon as your eyes open. So it's a full-time, very fatiguing job. Also, leaves us with poor sleep. Many of us would agree that we don't sleep well due to our pain. And of course, unfortunately, chronic pain has a very, very big link to true depression. And you all know what I'm talking about. We're going to do a separate segment possibly on that. But let me talk more about things that happen to people in pain. How about the anxiety we feel? How about the fact that we have worry about everything when we're in pain? The catastrophizing effect, I call it. I don't have this particularly right now. Decreased appetite. I probably eat too much. But when I'm in facial pain, certain types of pain, my abdomen, you can't eat. It eliminates your appetite. Your appetite is gone. And I think the biggest thing that I've had happen to me, and that many of you would see as a real deal breaker, unfortunately, in terms of what pain does for us, it takes away our mental abilities. It impairs them. By that I mean we're not as sharp as we could be without the pain. Now, I am not saying it's because of the medicine. I'm saying it's because of pain. If you didn't take any pain medicine at all and you had the chronic pain, I still believe that you'd have impairment because of what it does to us and how overwhelming heavy chronic pain can really be. Anybody else get nauseous when it comes in a certain way? You know, these are the common symptoms that come along with just the word pain. And now, I guess I've hit the lottery because I've come up with poor coordination. I fall. I've fallen a couple times. I had to get a special brace for my ankle to keep me straight down there because I was walking once a year ago and I fell into my neighbor's grass because where the grass meets the sidewalk, there's a little dip. Doctors told me that that shouldn't happen. I should have been able not to have that happen, so they had to give me these braces to walk on. Okay. Well, you realize also that not everybody with chronic pain is going to experience these symptoms. And some people have many, many worse symptoms. These are just some I pulled out of the air to talk about today. It's much more encompassing. But just like we talked about with acute pain, when you go to a doctor and you say, I have chronic pain, they're going to ask you, where does it hurt? It's a big help when you can tell them where it hurts. So when they diagnose you, they can identify specific areas and to see what's going on internally. But I, in my particular case, am very conflicted. Lower back, prostate, colorectal issues. They're within 3 inches of each other. Very, very difficult for me to tell the doctor what hurts. Many of you may be in the same situation. You're not alone. Well, you could say everywhere. Okay? If you say everywhere, they're going to look differently. They're going to look for rheumatism. They're going to look for things that are systemic. They're going to look for syndromes because those are the types of things that fire off multiple things at one time. Now, there are a couple things we do, and I've talked about it, because the pain we have, most of us, is pretty complicated pain. So the more you can keep identifying what makes it worse, what makes it better, how long your pain lasts, the intensity, the quality, is it burning, is it stabbing? maybe a pain journal. And if you can't write, talk it into your phone or something. Because then you're not going to hand it to a doctor and have them pour through it. You're going to use it for reference to remind you, because of our impairments, of what really is going on. Well, unfortunately, now we come to the treatment of chronic pain. You've already identified it. Now you got to treat it. Most popular treatment for chronic pain in America today is still opiate painkillers. I know all about them. And every new doctor I go to, first thing out of their mouth is, I cannot prescribe you opiates. First thing out of their mouth. I understand. My pain doctor happens to be the largest prescriber of opiates in the county I live in. What do you think of that? Anti-inflammatories. If you're lucky enough to have it go away with anti-inflammatories, you're a lucky person, but there are side effects to those also. Corticosteroids, there are steroid drugs that you can use. If you have rheumatism, rheumatoid arthritis, there are drugs that can help. Anti-rheumatoid drugs are out there now that help people. What I think is even more important is that if you have really bad things, okay, epilepsy, for example, if you have something like that, you need a very specific drug. Antidepressants are good because a lot of times in small doses, the right antidepressant has pain-relieving properties. A lot of doctors are finding this out now and are giving people antidepressants to deal with their pain. It's a new thing. I think it's important that they're doing it. Muscle relaxers, we all know about muscle relaxers. In fact, I have Flexeril in the house for what I call as needed. When it gets really, 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 really impossible, I have no choice but to take one. I don't like it because it makes me tired the next day, but so be it. So, depending on your symptoms, depending on overlapping conditions, if you have a stomach issue but you can't walk, they'll do it differently. Your doctor may recommend some other treatments. Many of you have had these treatments. Physical therapy, massage therapy, chiropractic care, acupuncture, nutritional supplements, counseling, psychotherapy. And in some ways, if you're strong enough, mentally strong enough with the willpower, you can make yourself some lifestyle changes. Diet. We've talked about changing activities based on pain levels. And if you're still working or you're a student, have them make some accommodation for you. Have them help you help them. It'll make your life better. And you know what? Maybe you have to stop work. Maybe you have to stop school. Maybe it's only transient. Maybe you have to retire. Things happen like that. Happened to me. Well, if you drink or you smoke cigarettes, don't. That's going to just make it much worse. And I've talked about this so many times. If you can manage your stress, all these other things are going to slow down just a bit. If you can manage your stress, you might be able to get a handle on it and describe things better to yourself and a doctor. And of course, I walk with a cane. Some of you are in wheelchairs, some of you are in crutches, prosthetic devices, anything you can do, obviously. But it's a daily grind. It's like going to a salt quarry, a salt mine, and working all day. I felt so hopeless and so desperate many times that I just frankly wanted to end it. I've talked about it on this channel. I might even still feel that way. But now I realize there's hope. The circle of pain's a funny thing. If you go through the circle of pain, at the end, there's hope. And it's not just me giving it to you. There's hope. Because if there's a proper diagnosis, if there's a proper treatment, even though there's no one size fits all and there's not the same thing for everybody, you may be able to improve functionality and reduce the pain. Frankly, by working with your doctor, if you find the right treatment plan, if you make smart decisions, you may be able to make significant improvements. The bottom line. Look, we talked about the symptoms, we've talked about the solutions, we've talked about what it is. This is chronic pain, okay? And a lot of you on this channel suffer with it. You're not alone. The negative on this whole thing is that we're probably going to have to live with it. Even if we can find solutions to manage it and get it better, I still didn't say we're going to get rid of it. So chronic intractable pain is part of life for many people. And with that, we have to find ways to integrate it into our life, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying, hey, where's your pain today? I'm not in pain. Come on, I need my pain today. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when it comes, when you wake up in the morning, don't feel like you're going to die that day. Just feel like it's another day. And acceptance of this whole thing, I've talked about that before. Acceptance of this whole thing is key to getting well. There's an old saying about mental illness, that the way you know that you are sick is if you deny you're sick. And the way you know you're getting better is if you say, I am sick. So it might be similar in physical situations. It can't hurt. Let's take a dab and get our day started. Today we're using a nice indica cherry gelato. Cheers. Excuse me. I needed that. Started off pretty difficult today. For me, leave you with this. Wake up in a funk every day. And I have to move through it. I know it's there. I don't go back into the bed and hide. I'm sorry for all of us out there. But we have to face our demons. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. Cheers.